Ah, I forgot the title screen. Sorry, guys. We're here with the Meeple Syrup Show after show. We've got Donnie in the house. We've got Nick Little in the hizzy, and of course Daryl Andrews, the one, the only. And we're waiting for Gavin. I'm sure he'll be by. I'll go find him. Daryl, you want to start the show, and I'll go grab him.
Yeah, well, I'm curious. I'm sure people have been playing some games lately. We talked a little bit about it early on, but we didn't ask Nick. I mean, Nick, what games beyond action phase games did you get to play over the weekend at Grand Con?
I I don't think I played a game that wasn't a prototype. Oh, no. Time's up.
Time's
Time's
up.
up. I
Yeah,
don't go more
time's
than
up.
5 days
I was
without
gonna
playing
say, how
Time's
can
Up.
you hang out with Dan
Yeah.
nearby and not play Time's Up?
Yeah, no, I'm completely addicted to that game. I got it at Gen Con, and I kid you not, in the 2 months that I've had it, I've played it probably 75 times. Like, I am hooked.
Yeah, and they're putting out a kids version at Essen.
Oh, are they really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Look forward to that.
It's just like, oh, of course. Like, that's like such a no-brainer.
Yeah,
I
agreed.
love that game.
Hey, looky.
This
Who's
guy.
got nookie?
Sorry.
Gavin, are you a Time's Up fan?
Times I've never actually played it.
Oh, for
He's
shame.
a failure, yeah.
Nick,
totally.
Nick, tell him how much of a failure as a human he is.
Look,
Thank
I'm
you.
not going to judge. I hadn't played it until, 3 months ago. But
That's true. That's true. There's still hope for you. There's still hope for you, Gavin.
I
I've never
actually
played
own it. I've just it's hard for me to find a group that would be willing to do charades and stuff, right? It's kind of like
you cannot tell them they're charades.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Every time you tell somebody it's charades, they're like, I'm out.
Out.
Yeah,
And then they
it's
play
true.
it, and charades are
you
hilarious.
gotta learn how to deliver the pitch.
Yeah,
you gotta
you
learn
gotta-
about pitching a
You
game.
gotta play, but wait, there's more to play Time's Up. No.
Yeah.
Donnie,
Exactly.
I sense a confession over there.
I haven't played it either.
Oh, Donnie.
That's because you can't play it solo, Donnie.
Okay, I have.
Or
It
you
was too, it's
could,
kinda-
but
Man,
You could, but it'd be really sad. No, we have probably one of the best local board game meetups ever, and I'm saying that completely biased because I haven't been to any others. But we have Dallas Games Marathon here in Dallas, and if you are coming to BGG Con and you can come down early, usually DGM is the third weekend of the month, but for the month of November, it's bumped a weekend early, and it lasts from Friday night through all the way until BGG Con starts. So it's like 5 days of DGM. And if you can come early, it's free if you have a BGG Con ticket. So you don't even have to pay for the weekend. It's a library of over 1,000 games, and the guy that runs it, Kevin McKenzie, always comes back from Essen. I think he's done the math. He's done it so many years. I think he can fit 350 pounds of games in his luggage if he crams his clothes into a backpack. But he always brings back. We always have all the brand new stuff, and over 1,000 games already. Anyway, point is, at some point around 10:30 or 11, as a Saturday evening winds down, somebody gets out Time's Up, and there will ultimately be a table of 11 or 12 people playing Time's Up at DGM. And it's one of those games like myself and Sean and Travis, the other two guys on low player count, we're all kind of huddled around a table in the corner, pushing cubes and
staring
things,
at them.
and like collecting some resources.
You can see they're having fun, but you're having
fun.
Yeah.
They're laughing, and they're all going, ah! And we're all like, shut up, cubes,
Yeah, I hear you.
I actually just recently, I think at the gathering of friends that I saw you at, Daryl,
Yeah.
that was the first time I ever played Werewolf.
Yeah.
And the only reason I'd never played it before is because, I have a lot of my gaming friends are, snobby.
Yeah,
right?
Euro
I'm kind of
snobs,
snobby,
yeah.
too. They're like, it's, lame.
Totally.
Totally lame. So, but then I played it at Gathering of Friends, which was here's the best place to play it, and I don't even think I've ever had that much fun in my life. Playing a game. I think that was seriously one of the best.
It's next level. To put it into context, so that Nick understands, especially because I know he'll get it then. Key players in this are Dan and Frank and Brian. That significantly influence that. And it's not just those 3, but there's like 12 more of those guys.
Sure.
that are very
Yeah,
similar in personality, and there's a running meta through the entire like
So
10
like
days.
Oh,
Ted
yeah.
Bezier and Mike Mirth and
And those are the best ones. Like
And the game,
I hear people's werewolf stories, and I'm like, this is terrible. But I have one I have to tell
yeah,
because we were playing in a 15-person game, and I'm talking about like very high-level Magic players are like the third of it. Like one of them is a guy who got second at nationals, and he's a very good poker player. And he's always the one that everybody kills right off the bat because they like we can't trust him; he's going to outgame us. So I'm the healer in this one, and I heal him right off the bat because I know that if I hit, I have an ally for the whole game.
yeah.
So we wake up in that first day, and he goes, nobody dies, and I'm like, nailed it. All right, we're gonna win this one, because I'm the best player, and I can just heal him over, and the two of us will win. Yeah. He killed himself in the first round, and we were demolished. Yeah, we're never winning that game at that point. When the werewolves kill themselves and then I heal them, yeah.
That's next level. Oh,
Wow.
man.
That's beyond next level. That's like way far up here. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's funny. I think there's a lot of that pretension around games where people don't let themselves actually play and have fun. I mean, when you think about it, that's gaming is about being playful and
Organized
playing.
play.
It's organized
Yeah.
play, and some people take the organization part. It's not that the organization part is bad, because I'm sure with a bunch of numbers guys in the room, like Nick and Gavin, people who do logistics and like that kind of stuff, or at least don't not enjoy it. Worker placements and spreadsheet
Although, it's
detailed
funny.
games might be more fun for them.
Both you guys like theme, and also, you would like something meaty. Like, I would, from knowing you both, I know you both want very thematic games, but then you also want something that's, clever or unique or smart or...
I would say I'm less obsessed with. I'm not really obsessed with theme. I'm more gameplay, but I do recognize that strong theme is like what's more. It's the most marketable on Kickstarter.
Oh
Right.
yeah, 100%.
I recognize that a game that has a very strong theme is more marketable, but I'm more like gameplay oriented, I would say.
Sure. Certain mechanics, that's enough. It could get you.
Yeah, totally. Like I come from the video game world, right? So, it was always about, and that's why I got into indie games, because they were the first video games I'd played in a long time that were just regurgitating old crap, right? Like, it was like they had the liberty, because it's just two guys just out of college eating craft dinner. They're like, this is a crazy idea, but why don't we try this? And they would program it for 2 years, and
Boom.
it's totally awesome. And
Yeah.
there's no liberty to do that kind of stuff in a big company, right?
So,
Because
so along those lines, what do you think of this then? Because I'm curious. This right now, what's going down? For anyone who doesn't know, that's a viewer of ours. I think we've given it a shout out, but if not, Hasbro has this one contest that I think's just come up deadline-wise. I think today, something, where they have a party game contest. Hasbro's mentioned a few times they're trying to change the direction. This giant ship trying to find some new games. And I'm curious, from perspective of a couple smaller publishers, do you think that's even possible for a mega publisher to adjust or to embrace the indie? Or is that just another marketing move, like, hipsters on McDonald's commercials?
Is that a thing?
It is now.
Oh, yeah.
Hipsters love it.
Yeah, they love Big
love it.
Macs.
Hipsters are done. There's no hipsters because hipster got popular.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm
back to the
loving
question.
it before it was cool. Is that the new jingle?
Yeah.
It is now.
But anyways, back to, do you think the big ones can really be that innovative? Or are they trapped by their own success?
I don't think that innovation for a lot of them, it comes down to that's the problem with any corporation. I mean, not any. Okay, Google is still innovative, right? But you need somebody who's kind of like a visionary in charge that can look at these sort of innovative ideas and be able to identify, like Steve Jobs, right? He's a good example. he was a visionary himself and could come up with innovative things, but also taking his team's ideas and making innovative products, right? But when a company starts to become more and more run by accounting type people, they start to figure out like, should we just release Call of Duty, 47, which is, it's guaranteed to make us, looking at our graphs, it's guaranteed to make us, $30 million, or should we dump a bunch of money into this sort of unproven idea? At the end of the day, like, the more guaranteed,
For
the
sure.
bigger the company is, the more guaranteed they want the income to be,
Sure, it's hard to resist.
So but who knows? I don't know. Like you'd have to tell me, okay, this guy's in charge of Hasbro, and kind of give me the rundown of this person who's kind of driving the ship, right? The captain of the ship, because maybe they are. The one thing that I didn't like, that I heard about I didn't read all the rules, but somebody said, they want whoever wins the contest, they have to run their own Kickstarter.
They're in their own
So-
Indiegogo.
Yeah.
Five. Top
So I was
five.
like, what? Like,
Yeah.
why? Like, what?
And it's not that you win if you have the best Indiegogo, but you have to run, and that will factor into their judgment. But all 5 will be endorsed by Hasbro.
What is Hasbro bringing to the table for this?
Their
That
name.
if it's it's
Marketing, I
getting
guess.
funded by people.
Future
It's
sales.
getting run by. I mean, they're just saying, hey, we're kind of doing this thing. You got to do all the legwork. Oh, and these other people are going to pay for it, but here's why would anybody enter this contest?
Well,
And
it minimizes risk for sure.
Like, I don't really like, the artist in me kind of doesn't like the fact that these corporations are now trying to say, okay, let's identify these creatives that are running Kickstarters, and let's try to siphon money out of them and have them. I'm probably being
I was just like, man,
highly
that
politically
got
incorrect
real
here.
dark. That got real dark. I felt like I was reading
I'm
like
total like pessimist,
Maze Runner
total
or something.
like
Yeah.
Hipster artist guy, right? Angry, angsty artist guy.
Where's your
But-
ferret?
Junior.
But yeah, I mean, there is that. I know that talking to Dougal a lot, that what he's interested in doing. Dougal is the one of the inventor relations guys at Hasbro.
Who's awesome.
He is. He's amazing. But what he's really looking for, what he would like to do at some point in time, I'm just gonna take some words out of his mouth. So Dougal, if you see this, just kill me later. You can
Yeah.
tell me that I paraphrased
But
you.
at least we didn't use the footage of you saying it.
Yes, that's right. Gotcha. But what he has told me in the past is that what he would like to do is create like hubs of excellence, like little groups of people that he can trust to bring him good products that are already, that halfway vetted ness that when he sees them, he's like, yeah, this is definitely in Hasbro's line, in Hasbro's vision. Now, can we make it work? Instead of him having to weed through things that aren't quality, or maybe quality, but not Hasbro quality games or Hasbro type games. I think that's a better word than quality. Quality is kind of loaded, especially with a company like Hasbro, where sometimes it isn't necessarily quality the way that you think about it or I think about it. That is what they're looking for. And so the contest is really an incubator idea. It's, hey, can you do this? Can you run this? If you do, then we'll help you take that to the even nexter level, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Because when you think about what they want, what their market penetration is like Gav, how many copies of Super Motherload did you publish?
The first run.
Yeah.
The first run was the first cover was 2,000.
And the second cover?
2,500. So we're talking little peanuts.
Yeah, I mean, so.
Dude, I love the second cover, by the way.
Oh, the second cover's awesome. But you're talking like 4,500, 5,000 copies, right?
Yeah, totally.
In 2 print runs. In 2 print runs, Hasbro needs a minimum of
10,000.
Yeah, it's actually more than that probably, right?
I think they're small. I think they're small. Like, I think if it's hobby,
Oh, for hobby, yeah, but I'm talking about a mass market game.
the mass is
Hasbro.
100,000.
It'd be 100,000 in 2 print runs, right? So, we're talking at a totally different scale, and
Totally.
and the company the contest that they're running for a party game would be mass market penetration.
Yeah.
So we were looking at like if you run a good Indiegogo campaign, it might sell 1,000, 2,000 copies at the most, and then they're going to magnify that by 50.
Yeah.
Right? Easy.
Totally. Yeah.
So it
Sounds good.
is a worthwhile thing if you want to make this a career. And so Gavin and Daryl and I have the great opportunity of talking to a lot of industry people who this is their career. And I'm not saying, Nick, that this isn't your career, but at the next level, so people who work for major toy companies. And they're saying, yeah, if you want to do this, you have to do mass market. If you want to walk out of the job that you're doing now and go and actually make this a living, mass market is the way to make it very, very viable, very fast.
No,
And so, coming into that, right?
what do you think about this though? Do you think that as the market's growing anyways, that some of the games that are hobby are going to translate?
Oh
to
yeah,
mass?
for sure. Yeah, I think so.
Like, I look at something like Ninja Camp, and I play that, and I go like, why wouldn't that go mass? Like that to me is like a great oh man, it's so affordable, lots of gameplay. I love Hey That's My Fish, and it just I'm not saying it's Hey That's My Fish, but it has similarities.
Yeah.
No,
And
yeah, you're right.
and I go like that clearly is a very affordable, marketable game that there's actually no reason that every gamer wouldn't just own that game.
Yeah, and if it was in a mass market channel, then every gamer could get it, and then other people could also get it as well, who don't frequent the hobby stores, who don't, scour Kickstarter for the latest and greatest.
But it has to go through that tipping point of either the market catching action phase or a partner that already has those channels.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more even if you have somebody with a connection at Target or Barnes and Nobles or Walmart
Right.
or whatever,
Yeah.
they are still going to want to know that you have sold X units.
Yeah, you
in-
already
you
had
have
to
to.
sell.
You
yeah,
have
you,
to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they'll ask you about how many you sold in a mass market environment, right? So it's not they don't care about hobby sales at
No,
all.
I love that. It's
At
like a
all.
catch-22. You have to have already
Right.
success.
If I
Yeah.
had ID, I wouldn't need ID.
So, how is your party game doing in the hobby market?
Yeah.
It's kind of my party game in the hobby market. Well, it would be doing a lot better on a bookstore shelf.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way.
Yeah,
I am here for a reason.
and that's why the Indiegogo thing, I think, is actually, like, if you think about it, it's sort of an interesting way of doing it. It is semi-mass market. It's like kind of in between hobby and mass in terms that it can get out to lots of people. You can just post your link everywhere and instantly 10,000 people know versus putting it in one hobby store and the 60 people who go to that hobby store on a weekly basis know. Right?
Well,
So
I have a cheater entry in the contest. I'm really
Do you?
looking for, yeah, because it's not open to Canadians. So
right, yeah.
So I am a blind co-designer.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I didn't know you were doing that. This is too funny.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I'm really curious to see if it gets selected without my name attached to it at all. But that would feel better. Like how Nick was talking before about that pride that you have when you see someone else like a game. For me, I think a developer gig would be amazing. And so
Yeah, but you like that kind of stuff.
I love that kind of stuff. So I'm really actually more psyched that my name can't even be attached to this project.
So it can't even be attached?
No, I think maybe my name could be mentioned in the Indiegogo, but it's not I might never get to be on the box of my own co-design.
I don't think that. I believe that's probably not what their intention is. I believe it's like the main registrant should be American.
No,
Yeah.
they have that you can enter teammates, and each teammate also must be a U.S.
Oh,
citizen.
really?
Yeah.
That's
So I'm
interesting.
legitimately.
You're a
cheating.
I
ghostwriter.
think it's probably due to intellectual property law. Like if they had to take somebody to court, they'd want to know that they're suing them in the United States.
Well, and I'm sure if
Well, it doesn't matter where you live. It matters where the law happens.
Other
But
countries,
anyways.
so it's just simpler, I'm sure.
Yeah.
To just say this is it for now.
Yeah.
And the real irony, the person who that I'm with is a real exception clause to an American.
Oh, they're not really that American?
Well, it's Odd Hackwelder.
Oh, yeah. He's He's an expatriate, so but he still carries American citizenship. So
Exactly.
there you go.
So two people living not in
Does he
America.
live in Taiwan or something?
He
Yes, he
does.
does.
Do you not know enough Americans that you could have an American enter the like somebody that lives
He's
I
American.
don't know any
I just-
Americans.
I
in
just thought it was.
America?
I just thought it was funny. I just was like,
Yeah,
oh,
no,
this is perfect.
no, it is.
Too funny. Too funny. Oh, speaking of Hasbro, I think I gotta call them tomorrow.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Well,
it's a
no,
rough-
I
There.
figure
it's
out
a
what-
rough life,
Big
man.
roller.
No, it's just I have to figure out what's happening with games that are there. So we need to give them we need to poke the bear. We need to poke the
This-
bear.
This whole experience has been very surreal for me because I'm watching and I'm listening to what you guys are talking about and everything, and I'm just kind of like, I'm the guy that got excited by all the little graphs on my Roxley updates from my Steampunk rally.
But that's
Like, I
awesome,
was like,
right?
I didn't even know you backed it. Thanks.
oh yeah, I mean, it's right there.
Kabam.
Awesome. I
I
feel
wish
like a
I'd-
total douche a lot of the time because like you know,
You
Sen's
kinda
like, yeah,
are, but that's okay.
I'm playing I'm playing Steampunk Rally with my kids. I'm like, you backed it? Oh, thanks, man. Like, there's so many backers on the list. There's like all these people I know supported me, and I feel like a jerk for not like sending them a thank you, you know?
Oh, Gavin,
It's
we
like
know
there's-
better. You know better than that.
So
Don't
thank
do it.
you.
There's no expectations.
I was the guy that loved, and I'm such a Kickstarter whore. It's not even funny. Can I say that on here?
Yeah.
Is that allowed?
Yeah,
Okay.
Especially after
I
dark.
just- I just and it's just neat hearing about the processes and hearing what you guys are talking about and hearing all the logistics and everything, and it's stuff that I've kind of known about a little bit, but to hear you talk about it, and it was really funny, especially to hear you, Gavin, talk about that graphic and kind of the reasoning behind everything. I'm like, I'm the sucker. I'm the guy
No.
that loves that thing.
I'm
No,
a
it's
sucker
not
too.
sad.
It
That's
works
what
for he made it because it works on him too.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
psychology, right? And it totally works. It's just marketing psychology. And
Using infographics.
yeah, it's an infographic, and
It
it's a
just-
wonderful use of graphic representation of a concept to get people to be complacent, right? It's just conditioning. It's just
And when
operant
I
conditioning.
get into forum arguments with people about good and bad Kickstarter companies, I point them at that, and I'm like, look at how these guys did this. You know what I mean? There's a dozen other companies that I can talk about that run great campaigns. But that ability to look at that and to get those, you're talking about consistent updates every 2 weeks. Hey, we're there's nothing we're doing. They're printing the game in China right now. I had
Which is
a
literally
and
one or
here's a
two
percent
updates.
on your graph. Here's 1%.
Yeah.
I went to Tim Hortons this morning. That's all my update is today.
Was that seriously an update, Gavin? Because I don't read the updates very much. That'd be funny though. It'd be very Canadian of you. Yeah.
I'm curious. Before we wrap up, we got a few more minutes. Are there certain reviewers or promoters that people here have connected with that?
Gavin, Daryl.
I'm
If
here.
it's worth your
we're-
while.
Sorry, repeat.
Sorry, I cut out there. I'm just curious. How do you gauge reviewers' influence, and which reviewers do you think it's worth connecting with?
I kind of look at their show format personally. Like that Board Game Corner, they did a review of Steampunk Rally, and it's like so cleanly edited. They have 3 hosts, and they have the female demographic, and they have the hardcore gamer guy, and they have the guy who likes. So they have a pretty wide spread of gamer archetypes.
Yep.
I love their review system. So they'll be one that I try to get to review our games. I don't necessarily look at the amount of views. I kind of look at how I feel, the quality of their review, and especially whether or not I felt that they understood the game before they reviewed it. Because we've given our games out to, some reviewers who have not really taken the time. Dude, hate the game. Awesome. I totally love negative criticism as long as it's an educated
You actually
negative
criticize the
criticism.
right
This
right
game
rules.
sucks because
Yeah.
and great, man. Let's But you know, when especially a reviewer, if they don't take the time to sort of try to learn the rules properly, and you know, if they played wrong, then that kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But you know,
Or if
it's
you
gonna
don't,
happen.
or if you don't apply enough pigment to your characters. I can't believe that was a criticism. That is the funniest
Oh
criticism
yeah,
ever.
yeah,
He's not dark enough.
yeah. George Washington Carver was not. He didn't have dark enough skin. It was big. But
Donnie's gonna go get
we
him.
darkened him. We definitely
Don's going
darkened
to
him up.
check.
I'm like, really?
Yeah, well, no, we this was a big backlash sort of deal on. It wasn't a big backlash. Like it was an issue on Board Game Geek that we could not diffuse. George Washington Carver was not black enough. He looked Italian, so we had to. I had to actually, which was such an embarrassing conversation to have with the artists. Like, guys,
I
George
can't even listen to this
Carver,
seriously.
he's gotta be blacker. Like I felt racist, even like suggesting to somebody to change somebody's skin color, right? Like I wasn't the artist that did it, so it was kind of like totally embarrassing conversation, right? But you know, sometimes
been
you
asked
just
as the
can't
artist,
douse
Gavin?
the fire.
Yeah.
Have you ever been asked as the artist, Gavin, to adjust things like that?
Well, how do you mean to be more politically correct?
Yeah.
Or um, yeah, I don't know actually. I don't think so. But it's not. It's only because I haven't done a lot of games and a lot of. Actually, no, we have. We have actually. We did a game for the Calgary Police Service,
Oh
Yeah.
right, yes, your
and
educational
we
ones.
had like this broad spectrum of people, like every color, race, age, everything on the cover, you know. But this one police officer had a mustache and he had aviators on, like he looked like the classic police officer,
Yeah.
like
Stormtrooper.
stereotypical police officer.
Super Troopers.
Yeah,
Super
totally. And they were like, "Yeah, you gotta remove his mustache. And you gotta take his glasses off and
Yeah,
stuff."
fix that meow.
Yeah, right now.
Right now.
So that was an instance where it had to become more politically correct. But
Interesting.
nothing like to do with race or gender or anything like that.
Two stereotypical cop.
Yeah.
We had a huge issue with Heroes Wanted because we didn't have all of the art done from the right off the base, and us being a bunch of white guys making a game, and with our artist being a white guy, we were just like, oh yeah, make a guy that looks like this, or a guy that looks like this, or someone that looks like this. And granted, we never said, make it a white guy that does this, or make it a dude. Sometimes we said a male that looks like this, but I think that initially we only had like one or two minorities present in the 12 cards that we had right off the bat, and only like one or two women, and there were some people that were just in an uproar about it. So
Yeah.
what was fortunate enough is we didn't have all of the art done, so we were able to go, okay, intentionally make this a woman. And it was at one point we were just like, just stop drawing men, just draw women from here on out. Whatever I say, it doesn't matter. Make it a woman and give her a non-white race.
I think you need more short Asian people.
Right. I think we have one.
Well, you could have two. There's a lot of us in the world, you know.
We've got Toyota and Steampunk Rally.
I
We're
know,
gonna
I'm
actually
so
try to
happy
do
with
a
that.
couple of Chinese inventors in the next expansion.
That'd be great. I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
But we had a woman write to us, and she goes, I really like your game, but like I'm an African American, female gamer, and I just feel like I never see somebody that I can identify. Somebody that looks like me is never anywhere. And she's like, it'd be great if we had like a 1970s, giant afro, powerful black woman, somewhere. And it is
You mean a
literally-
blaxploitation?
Yeah, that's what she wanted. That's what she wanted.
But
She
it's on the
wanted
cover.
afro.
I
There's one
know,
on the cover.
There is. It's very interesting, though.
It's just like, you mean like the one right there on the cover image? That's just.
Wow. People are just sent to complain.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's too funny, though. Yeah, it's a touchy subject. It's really interesting, though. I definitely think there is, that hashtag male privilege and whatever that goes on,
Mhm.
because people are egocentric by nature, right? That's how we think, and so that's another good reason to have developers, right?
Yeah.
To give that extra eye.
I
Catch that
think,
thought.
like, as somebody who drew, like, I used to love, like, comic books, like Spawn. Like, I was an Image Comics guy. Definitely
I won't
not in
hold
the
that against
realm of Sen's, like, Wikipedia level knowledge of comics, but I just love the art of comics, right? So I would draw male figures, but it was mostly because well, superheroes don't look like me, but usually you draw things that as a kid that are just that are just like you, right? So girls that are into drawing as children, they draw more female characters, and men draw more males. And sort of as you grow up, for me, anyways, it's just that sort of I never grew out of that tendency to want to draw people who kind of look like me. So I don't think there was ever any like negative, you know, sort of prejudice in my mind, but you gotta, I think you have to force yourself as an artist or as a creative director or a publisher to say, look, we need to be proactive about this. We can't just think about it in terms of what our natural tendencies are. We have to
Right.
we have to force it, right? And people appreciate it. Like I had lots of females saying, just messaging saying thank you for the diversity in Steampunk Rally. Like, thanks so much. Like, it's awesome. And my daughter plays it, and she loves. And
That's
we
cool.
learned about these female inventors that did important things, and they're empowered women, and
That's gotta feel good.
Yeah.
totally,
And I mean,
absolutely.
to say
It's
the
worth
word
it.
forced is not really necessarily as bad as it sounds. It just means we
Yeah, not
we have to be thoughtful.
Yes,
Put it
I
that way.
agree.
Mindful.
You have to empathize with the entire audience.
Yeah.
Force
Yeah.
yourself to empathize with
Right,
the
there
entire
you go.
audience.
Yeah. And I mean, when you think about it, and I do this in every other area of work I do, so I don't know why I don't do this in game design as much, but it's, universal design, right? Think about every possible person using the game or playing with the game. What do they need to feel part of it? And on that note, I think we're going to end the after show because it is, oh my God, it's 106 here in Canada, in the east coast of Canada.
It's a big country.
Yeah, Gavin is
11.
what, 11? Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's not as tired as I am, but Daryl and I are pretty tired, and all you Midwesterners and West Coasters are probably not as tired. Oh, Gav, hey, I will totally, almost, most likely guaranteed be out in Calgary next summer for my cousin's wedding.
Sweet.
Yes, so
Let's hook
we'll have
up.
to get together. The boys want to go dig up some fossils and whatnot, and we can
Cool.
we can play games. All
That's
right.
awesome.
Anyways, you guys share the screen. If you want to get in contact with us, reach us here. And again, we're going to be doing. We're opening pre-sales for tickets to the Meeple Syrup Winter Camp. That's going to happen New Year's-ish, in and around the New Year's weekend. Daryl, what's the actual date?
January 1, 2, 3.
January 1, 2, 3. Thanks, Donnie. And yeah, just hit us off here if you want more info on that. If you can make it up to Canada, we'd love to have you. All right, thanks very much, and we'll see you next week. Woo!
Nice to meet you, Nick.
Nice meeting you too.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
Nice to meet you guys.
Bye.